Well, we're really excited today to talk a little bit about a topic that is important to a lot of people. But today was the announcement of our new relationship and partnership to sponsor MedTech Color. And with us being in the process right now with MedTech Women to do something similar, we thought this would be a great time to talk about some of the points at Medical Device and Manufacturing Conference. They had some great panels there. I know we both got the
Yeah.
opportunity to see some amazing, relevant professionals to those areas share their experiences. So why don't you kind of get us started on that, Ange?
Yeah. I was really excited to be able to attend the presentation for the women and the future of robotics,
Yes.
which is interesting all in itself. I mean, where we've been and where we're at and where we're going to go with robotics. But some of the things that they started off with was obviously that robotics is becoming more and more affordable
Hmm.
in manufacturing industry, and so with that comes things like the use of data and analyzing it and being able to you know measure your risk and how efficient you can be. And I think that one point they brought up was that a lot of people are nervous about going into the manufacturing industry because they think robotics is going to take over all
Right.
those jobs, right?
Right.
And a great point that they brought up was that, well, we still need somebody to design the robots.
Uh-huh.
We still need somebody to fix the robots when they're not working. So
Absolutely.
there's this big void of talent out there that can do those things, right?
Right.
And we're only going to need more and more of that talent as more and more robotics go into all these different industries. So
Absolutely.
so it started off with talking about the future of robotics in one aspect, and really then shifted over towards talent and
Okay.
the struggles of talent. Manufacturing industry is no different than any other industry when it comes to talent market right now. They're hurting. There is a void um, of talent that they need, and some of the reasons they brought up were things like they can't find the people with the right skills,
Hmm.
right? They can't find dependable um, employees and things like that. So when we were discussing, and when the panel was discussing with the audience different ways that they can go and kind of bring in more talent from generations, right, from future generations,
Uh-huh.
they talked about going after kids even at a young age. And one of them talked about how um, there was a company that would bring robotic Lego sets to
Wow.
like kindergarten classes. And that was like the kids' first introduction of how do you build a robot and make it do different things. And I thought that was what an excellent way of you know introducing kids at that age. But I think that they also talked about you have to go and continue to kind of touch each of those those generations at different points
As they
as
grow,
they
it's
grow,
got to be a
right?
cadence.
Yes. So you got to get them in middle school. You need to get them in high school, and even their first couple years of college. As we know, a lot of kids go into college and they just are guessing at what kind of major. But I think that seeing in this panel there was a lot of it was all women and with in engineering, and they felt like there was such a lack of representation of them.
Absolutely.
And as a mom of two daughters who are college age, um, I don't know that they know any women that are in engineering. And maybe they would have gone a different path if they had actually met somebody,
Been exposed to
and
it.
been exposed to
Right.
a woman in engineering and actually met them and seen what they were like. Because the perception of a woman in engineering is probably maybe not the best, or you have one perception and it's not really accurate. And so I think a lot of young women maybe don't understand that there's a great potential for women in engineering. The other thing that they were talking about was not only going after more women representing engineering, and but also color. Like there's lack of color representation in
Right.
that for talent. So that was another aspect that they thought that they could improve in. Now, the one thing that they talked about was the Society of Engineering, and how that group does go and try and help with those things, how to reach out. That's part of their thing
Create
is,
more
yeah,
awareness.
Society of Women in Engineering. So that's an organization that they did mention that does go and try and bring, touch those younger kids, those younger generations at a point where they can go and bring them into this industry. So yeah, so those were a lot of really great factors that they brought in on talent and how they think they should um, change the way that the industry looks and how they're going to be able to bring the next generation in, because that it is concerning.
Well, there's not enough talent and there's
Yeah.
not enough skilled work, and all of that combines together.
Hmm. And having all those different representations of types of skills, every skill set is important. So not one skill set is not more important than another, and that's what they came down to at the end of the presentation, which I thought was very smart.
That is smart. Very good.
Mhm. So now you went to one
I,
of the
I,
women
I,
presentations
I
as well.
did, I did, and one thing before I kind of dive into that came to my mind as you were talking about that, when you think of Freedom International, the school that we support uh, down in the Dominican Republic, charitably, and have been down there on mission trips multiple times now. Um, what you are exposed to, right? We're
Hmm.
creatures of our environment, and
Yep.
I don't think we're limited by that, especially here in the U.S. There's a lot of opportunity to grow beyond what that exposure's been. Certainly, that depends on
Hmm.
where your opportunities come from and how you look at things. But those children down there, when you ask them in the earlier ages what they want to be, it's typically a school bus driver, a police officer, or something relevant to the sugarcane. That's as big as they dream, because that,
Yeah.
as they start to get older in the school, because of what they're exposed to and what that does for them, then they start talking about being physicians, being pilots, being engineers.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
just, that's what that made me think about.
Hmm.
So I really thought that was extremely relevant. But I had the opportunity to watch and learn from multiple presenters and panels. But Kate Stevenson of MedTech Women led a great panel in challenges in manufacturing. And there were three fantastic professionals um, from different size companies that were talking about some of the things that you already spoke to in the industry. But Master Control had a article that went out this last year. It was actually a survey of leadership in manufacturing, and 50% of those surveyed talked about the fact that they are still managing critical processes with paper and pen,
Wow.
which is incredible.
Yeah.
And when you think of the opportunities that digitization for optimization in manufacturing, what that can lead to, uh, in terms of efficiency, less nonconformance, uh,
Hmm.
going paperless, smart factories, all those different things, which these were all topics that those ladies talked about in that particular panel. Um, there were executives in that master control survey that at the executive level over manufacturing, and about 96% of them said that they will be investing in some aspect of digitization optimization
Oh
relevant to
yeah.
manufacturing within the next 16 to 24 months. And 95% of them said like they don't really have a choice for a variety of
Hmm. Yeah.
reasons. But I think that ties into what your panel group in some aspects talked about. And certainly these ladies were talking about the different challenges with going green, depending on the geography and the regulations there. Some places outside of the US are easier to do that than in the US. California was an example
Oh
that was
yeah.
mentioned. But opportunities for automation, process improvements, and being able to integrate systems to create greater efficiency. And then obviously all that is affected by supply chain. So
Hmm. Hmm.
really smart conversations. We have a lot of opportunities. And you think about the metaverse, you think about interoperability. It's not just a matter of in a product. You look at digital twins, you look at the opportunities to create efficiencies, and it's going to be really exciting what that leads to.
Hmm.
And then to your point, it takes us all. You know,
Yes.
we're better with everybody,
Hmm.
and based on what people's passions are and their skill set, having as inclusive of an environment as
Hmm.
possible with more opportunity based on people want to do in their skill sets,
Hmm.
regardless of where they come from.
Exactly.
So I think that's a big reason why we're really excited to be a sponsor of MedTech Color, and looking forward to being a sponsor for MedTech Women. And those two organizations collaborate a lot together as well. So
Absolutely.
we really appreciate your time, and hopefully this brought you value.